What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Elder Dragon. Alright guys, so the random question of the day is, if you had a choice between $10 million cash right now or $100 a day for the rest of your life, which would you choose and why? I feel like the 10 million bucks thing would be the better option out of the two. However, I'm going to go with $100 a day because I would be generous with it. I would buy people lunch, and some days I would probably just give it away to someone on the street or something like that. So that's my answer. I want to hear from you guys out there. Let me know right down there in the comments section below, which one would you choose, $10 million right now or $100 a day for the rest of your life? So today we're taking a look at this guy right here. This is the Elder Dragon from Wotofo, with a big huge shout out and thank you going to Wotofo for allowing me to take a look at this device for the purpose of making this video. So this one kind of flew under the radar for me. I really didn't hear too much about it on social media before or even after it came out, and honestly I really don't hear a lot of chatter about it nowadays, and with that it's just kind of a weird looking RDA that I think is best used in squonk mode. So taking a quick look online, this device comes in 6 different color options for you to choose from. You have black, blue, gold, gunmetal, rainbow, and stainless steel, and it's only going to run you about 26 bucks. So if you are looking for a second RDA or something of a cheaper variety, then this is definitely a good one to choose. But with that, I'll leave a link on my website. Link to that will be right down there in the description below if you guys want to pick one of these up for yourself. But without any further ado, let's dive down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've got our Elder Dragon in its original box, so let's quickly take a look around the packaging, then we'll talk about what's inside. So first things first, we've got this lovely little display window here, so you can see the actual build deck and top cap right from the outside of the box, which is great. We've got the Ryujin, which is the actual name of this device, and Elder Dragon right underneath, and the Wotofo logo right there, with a little bit of spot gloss around the front of the box. Hopefully you guys can see that. On this side here, we have what the kit contains. On this side here, we've got the Wotofo logo and a color indication. Over here we've got some of the warnings and all that good stuff, and on this side we've got another color indication, scratch and check, and a UPC. On the back, just your standard little Ryujin Elder Dragon with a little spot gloss. So there we go. Taking the lid off there, we've get the build deck right there. We'll take a better look at that in just a second here. And we've got the top cap section as well. So there you go. We've got another drip tip. This is an 810 frosted tip. Hopefully you guys can see that. And we've got a little 510 drip tip adapter for those of you that want to use a 510 drip tip. Underneath we have tools, screwdriver and an Allen wrench. There you go. We've got some Wotofo little cotton strip thing there with a little shoelace on the end. We've got some pre-made coils. Really like Wotofo's pre-made coils. They have definitely stepped their game up big time, and they come in these little sealed packages, as you can see, and some extra pieces. So you get a standard flat pin, a couple extra screws, and a couple of O-rings. It's not really a complete set, so I don't know. They didn't really throw a whole bunch of extras like they typically do in there. But with that, we've got the manual, which is it's fold-out style manual. Definitely on the cheap, very flimsy kind of feeling paper. Color graphics, and the text isn't microscopic, which is decent, but you guys know how I feel about fold-out manuals. Definitely did that one on the cheap, so I'm going to knock a couple of points off. And you also get a little coil tool, kind of like the coily, kind of a knockoff coily tool, if you will, with a little indicator of where you should be cutting these coils. So that's kind of neat that they throw that one in. And that's it. That's what's in the box. Alright guys, let's talk about the specs. First of all, it's 22 millimeters in diameter. It has deep juice wells, superior stainless steel construction, quad build deck with 4 open terminals, side secured via Phillips headed screws, single coil configuration, bulbous adjustable airflow top cap, unique shaped top cap for easy adjustment. Your airflow vents directly at your coil. It comes with an 810 wide bore resin drip tip, and it comes with a gold plated 510 squonk BF pin and a gold plated 510 flat pin. Alright guys, let's take a quick up close look at the Elder Dragon, starting off with the drip tip up top here. This is not your standard 810 tip. It's got a little flange out near the base here, and it's very much narrower than a standard 810. Also, the bore is a little bit smaller as well, and just for comparison's sake, here is an 810 Dead Rabbit tip side by side, and there you can see the difference in the bore and the size, and just a little side view for you guys there. And also, this makes a big difference when you're actually attaching your own tip on there, because that's what it looks like with a standard 810 tip. So not the biggest fan of that, to be honest with you guys. I really like using my own tips on mods, and just limiting you to what they give you in the box is not something that I enjoy particularly. But as you can see here, it does have an O-ring on the inside of the top cap section. And here is the top cap itself. It's a very unique design. As you can see, it's got kind of a dome shape up at the top section there. You've got these little lines kind of going all the way around like that. And it's of course matched on the opposite side. You have a little bit of a kind of a snake bite sort of airflow right there. Don't know if you guys can see that, but there you go. And you have this deep ridge going all the way around the top cap section itself. And like I said, very unique kind of shape to it. And these little ridges here kind of help when it comes to turning this thing for airflow control. But yeah, on the inside of the top cap, we have some registration pins for locking in your top cap that locks it into place and only allows it to move side to side for your airflow adjustments. And it is domed as well, so you get really good flavor off of this thing. And here is the build deck itself. Now, I have previously removed my coil from it, but it wasn't anything special anyways, just a little single coil in there. As you can see, the quad airflow coming in at the angles like that, and you also have quad terminals in the bottom. That is for your single coil. It's not meant for dual coils, but it's meant for either overhand or underhand wrapping. On the side here, it is cut out so you can actually have your coil on your jig still while you're installing it. Basically allows you to drop it right into place and align it right in between the airflow section right there. So that's something that's really cool. Very unique kind of shape to this build deck, and it's pretty spacious all the way to the bottom to the juice well down there. There is plenty of room, so it's a little bit more difficult to over drip or over squonk on this thing. Here you can see where the airflow comes in on this side, and you have the screw head terminals on either side there and there as well. A little bit of a flange out near the base, which really doesn't do anything except for kind of match it up to the cap a little bit nicer. And let's take a look at the bottom here. Just your simple little engravings, kind of a sort of a yin-yang sort of thing going on with this little design there. But we have the Ryujin kind of logo right there, and Wotofo logo at the bottom with your two screws holding in your, I believe it's the airflow section that's actually holding in. So that's really funky. And that's pretty much the long and the short of the Elder Dragon. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of the video. Now let's talk about my personal thoughts about this device, some pros, some cons, and whether or not it's worth purchasing. Starting off with the pros, my first pro is that it's a very quiet RDA. Now, considering the fact that the airflow is definitely a funky design, it's actually pretty quiet, which is really awesome because I really can't stand the loud RDAs out there, the ones that have that high-pitched whistle, or the second you cut off that airflow at all, it just makes a whine and it's just super annoying. This one is not like that whatsoever. It's very quiet and it's very nice to vape on. My second pro for this one is that it's very easy to build. On the sidewall of the build deck itself, it has a little notch cut in it so that you can have your coil on your jig and just basically drop it into place. You just tighten those screws down and tune it up. It's just a simple single coil build deck, so it really could not get any easier. My third pro today is that it's difficult to over squonk or over drip on this thing, considering the fact that the airflow is slightly slanted upwards. It leaves you plenty of room in the actual juice well to fill up with liquid or to squonk, and you would really have to try hard to over squonk on this thing. I have used several pumps on the Delta mod here, and it still does not come out the airflow holes, so that is definitely a pro in my book. And my fourth and final pro for this device is the flavor is on point. Now, I'm not exactly sure why I prejudged this device based on the aesthetics, but I will say that the flavor that I'm getting off of it is fantastic. Regardless of what this thing looks like, it performs really well, and the flavor is amazing. Alright guys, so moving on to the cons, my first con is that it's ugly. This is not the prettiest RDA I've ever used, and you know what, it just doesn't fit in with my sort of aesthetic. I mean, it's kind of the function over fashion sort of thing here, but you can really tell they tried to make it look kind of cool, but in my opinion, it just didn't work. My second con for this one is that the center groove on the actual top cap itself collects a lot of liquid. Now, I'm not exactly sure where this is coming from because, like I said before, it's difficult to over squonk or over drip on this thing. However, it's just always kind of got that condensation sort of look to it, and when I wipe it off, there's definitely juice in there, so I feel like it's kind of coming out of the holes after you vape on it, but it just kind of collects all in the center ring here, and it just gets a little bit messy. And my third and final con for this one is that none of my 810 drip tips look any good on this thing. Now, granted, they do fit in the top cap section, however, they overhang and look absolutely ridiculous, and this thing needs all the help it can get as far as the aesthetics goes, and that's definitely not helping its case there. So unfortunately, if you're a big drip tip collector like I am, then you're pretty much out of luck with this one. So at the end of the day, is this device worth purchasing? Would I go out of my way to pick one of these up if I didn't get this one in for review? I'm going to have to say no to this one because I know there's a lot of other RDAs out there doing just as good a job in the flavor and ease of building department, but they look better doing it. Now, typically I'm a function over fashion sort of guy, but I will say there's a little piece of me that does care about aesthetics, and this is just not very pleasing to me whatsoever. And with that, it's a no for me on this one here. I got to give Wotofo a lot of credit for what they're trying to do as far as the airflow and stuff like that, and the flavor, like I said, is really, really good on it. So it is a good, affordable option for those of you that are looking for that sort of thing. And with that, if you guys want to pick one of these up, I'll leave a link on my website. Link to that will be right down there in the description below. But that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Leave your comments down in the box below and follow me on my various social medias. Links are right down there in the description. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on.